Okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this regular meeting of the Providence City Council. This September 3rd, 2020. Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Council President Mato.
Present.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Present.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Present.
Councilman Correa.
Present.
Councilman Espinal.
Present.
Councilman Goncalves.
Present.
Councilwoman Harris.
Present.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Present.
Councilor Kerwin.
He's on mute.
Councilor Kerwin.
Present.
Thank you. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Present.
Councilor Miller.
Present.
Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Present.
Councilor Salvatore.
Present.
Councilman Taylor.
Here.
You have 14 present and 1 absent. You have a quorum.
Madam President, you're muted.
Council President, yeah, you're muted. Yes.
Thank you. That will help a lot if I'm doing this. So thank you. I'm going to be leading giving the invocation today, and I just want to ask all of us to reflect on everything that's going on right now. I want to ask God to look at all of us gathered here tonight, that we're here to do the work of the people and give us the guidance to make the decisions that are the right decisions on behalf of the city of Providence. Allows us the opportunity to leave the city better than how we found it. And also at this moment in which so many of us, so many of our families, friends, and constituents are suffering so much due to the pandemic, and also because they have lost loved ones, and many of them also have been losing their jobs. Please give them guidance, give them hope, in console them in this moment, difficult moment. We pray this in the name of God, Jesus, amen.
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 The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America is going to be led by Councilwoman Anthony.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag.
of
The United States of America,
To the republic.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I would like to ask the solicitor to please state on the record the legality of this meeting.
Good evening. Per executive order of the governor of the state of Rhode Island, we are permitted to hold this meeting via Zoom.
Thank you. Mr. Solicitor, can you just ID yourself for the audio?
Yes, City Solicitor Jeffrey Dana.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
Approval of minutes. Item 3, Journal of Proceedings number 20 of the regular meeting of the City Council held July 2nd, 2020. Journal of Proceedings number 21 of the regular meeting of the City Council held July 16, 2020. And Journal of Proceedings number 22 of the special meeting of the City Council held Friday, July 31st, 2020.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
move approval of item 3 on a voice vote.
Second.
The motion has been made and second to approve item number 3 on a voice vote. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Executive Order, Item 4. Executive Order 2020-13 submitted by His Honor the Mayor dated July 15th, 2020, Declaration on Truth, Reconciliation, and Reparations.
Receive.
Appointments by His Honor the Mayor. Communication from His Honor the Mayor, dated July 30, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Section 302B of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980, as amended, Section 502.1 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Providence, and Public Law Chapter 40-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, he is this day appointing Joshua Coulion of 100 Exchange Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02903, as a member of the Down City Design Review Committee for a term to expire on January 31st, 2023.
Receive.
Item 6, communication from His Honor the Mayor, dated August 27th, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Sections 302 and 1107 of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980, as amended, and Public Law and the bylaws of the Providence Housing Authority, he is this day appointing Siri J. Colom of 176 Congress Avenue, Providence, Rhode Island, 02907, as a member of the Providence Housing Authority Board of Directors for a term to expire on July 31st, 2025.
Receive.
Communication from His Honor the Mayor, dated August 27th, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Sections 302B and 1107 of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980 as amended, and Public Law and the bylaws of the Providence Housing Authority, he is this day reappointing Jessica Signa of 150 Dexterdale Road, Providence, Rhode Island, 02906, as a member of the Providence Housing Authority Board of Directors for a term to expire on July 31st, 2025.
Receive.
Item 8, communication from His Honor the Mayor, dated August 27th, 2020, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Sections 302B and 1107 of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980, as amended, and Public Law and the bylaws of the Providence Housing Authority, he is this day reappointing Lonzie Doggett of 53 Salmon Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02909, as an occupant of public housing member of the Providence Housing Authority Board of Directors for a term to expire on July 31st, 2025.
Receive.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to ask the clerk to read items 9 through 10 into the record and pass for the second time on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
The motion has been made and second to ask the clerk to read the items 9 through 10 into the record, and these items are going to be passed for the second time on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk.
Following ordinances were in City Council July 16, 2020, read and passed the first time and are severally returned for passage the second time. Item 9, Councilman Espinal, Councilwoman Anthony, Miller, and Councilman Goncalves. An ordinance in the amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance, approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to change certain text in Article 12 regarding the incinerator waste facility use category. Item 10, Council President Matos, Councilman Correa, Espinal, Goncalves, and Narducci. An ordinance amending Chapter 15, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Section 15-11, residential parking / standing of certain commercial vehicles.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa.
Aye.
Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 14 ayes and 1 absent. The several matters passed for the second time on a roll call vote. Presentation of ordinance. Item 11. Councilwoman Harris, Councilman Taylor, and Councilwoman Anthony. An ordinance related to the Providence Redevelopment Agency amending Providence Code of Ordinances 2019-31, number 355, and 2019-48, number 433.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
Motion to pass item 11 for the first time on a roll call vote and refer to the Committee on Ordinances.
Second, Madam President.
Motion has been made and second to pass item number 11 for the first time and to refer to the Committee on Ordinance.
May I speak on it, Madam President?
Discussion, Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Go ahead.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Madam President, just to let you know, I'm here, Councilman Narducci. I just
Oh, you
figured it.
join us.
Yeah, thank you.
Council, Mr. Clerk, please make a note that Councilman Ardich is present. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deputy Majority
Yes.
Leader Harris. go ahead.
Yes, this is I'm very happy to be able to talk about this tonight and ask for the council's to support this as a first time vote and then send it to the ordinance committee. I believe that all the council members should already be aware that there is a plan to go out for a bond to utilize the funds from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We are at that point right now where we are able to do that. The PRA is able to put that out, but there is certain language that has to be amended or changed within the ordinance. And so this is a good time for us to do first to vote and not hold it up, to wait for it to come back out of the ordinance committee to vote, but to get it out in time for a bond, for to be able to get in time for a next bond. And this will give us time to start to get affordable housing in this period of time out into our communities and our neighborhoods. And this is something that this council I'm very proud of, have been working very hard to try to do, is to address the issue around affordable housing. And so I'm asking the council to support this tonight by a first time vote and then send it to the committee for us to continue to understand what the language has to be in order for them to move it out. It will come back for the second vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? The Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Council President. If the Deputy Majority Leader would not mind, I would like to be listed as a co-sponsor. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So noted.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. Oh,
Madam President.
Deputy,
Madam President.
Councilwoman, Deputy Majority Leader Harris, Ryan.
Madam
I'm
President.
gonna get a hang of this.
That's okay.
I'm still on vacation.
That's okay. It's hard when we're not in the room together.
Yeah.
I would like to also ask the sponsor, if there is no objection, I would like to be listed as a sponsor on this really wonderful piece of legislation. And I want to thank her for leading the way on it.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Same request.
The same, Councilman Salvatore, Councilman Arducci, and I would like to be co-sponsor also. Councilman Espinal.
Thank you. And Madam President, just so you know, I got taken away from the backyard of the swimming pool in New Hampshire with my granddaughter to join you guys, so.
That's why we love you.
Madam President?
Are you on mute, Madam President? Madam President?
No, I think we just lost her microphone temporarily.
Okay.
Council, well,
It almost looked like full council sponsorship.
yeah,
Council President Pro Tempore, would you like to step in and continue the meeting until we get the technology issue resolved with our president? I
Yeah.
believe the full council wanted to sponsor this resolution. I think that's where we were going.
Yep. Mr. Clerk, if you could note that, I believe it's the entire council that would like to co-sponsor item number 11.
so noted. There are no objections.
Good job, Pro Tem.
Can we move on to the roll call vote, please?
Absolutely. I'm not sure if Council President Matos is available to vote, so I will count her as absent as she's not able to.
Mr. Clerk, I would
I'll come back to
suggest, Mr. Clerk,
Yes.
Councilman Ngozi, I would suggest that the council president can hear you. If she can raise, Council President, can you hear us? If you can raise your hand, then at least she could do up as voting yes, you know, if she can hear us. I don't know if she can hear us.
Okay, I think she's trying to
I
connect
guess she
on
can't hear
audio
us
to
at all.
the rest of the council, and then I'll come back to her.
All right.
Hello? Sorry, can you guys hear me now?
There you go.
Finally.
Perfect. There you go.
Good job.
Perfect. I'm
Back.
sorry.
So if you can
Mr.
proceed
Clerk,
with
we
the
were
roll call.
trying to make sure that we got all the co-sponsor for this item. Did we get everybody?
Full
We,
council.
Okay, full council. Sounds good. Can you please call the roll?
Yes, Council President. Council President
Thank
Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa.
Aye.
Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Narducci.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 15 ayes. You have none absent. The matter passes for the first time on a roll call vote and is referred to the Committee on Ordinances. Presentation of resolution. Item 12. Council President Matos, resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26B2 of the Code of Ordinances to West Elmwood Housing Development Corporation in the amount of $7,500 on behalf of the Health Communities Office.
Refer to the Committee on Finance.
Item 13, resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26B1 of the Code of Ordinances to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island for $871,356 on behalf of Human Resources.
Refer to the Committee on Finance. Councilwoman LaFortune, do you want to speak? Your hand is up.
Oh,
No?
my hand has been up for quite some time. That was from
Okay.
before, sorry.
All right,
Thank
okay.
you.
Item
Mr.
14,
Clerk?
resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26B2 of the Code of Ordinances for $11,058.60 with American Alarms for Public Property.
Refer to the Committee on Finance.
Item 15, resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26B2 of the Code of Ordinances for Woodco Machinery in the amount of $8,962.51 on behalf of Public Works.
Refer to the Committee on Finance.
Item 16, resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26A of the Code of Ordinances for Arup USA Incorporated in the amount of $1,599,767 on behalf of the Department of Planning and Development.
Refer to the Committee on Finance.
Item 17, resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26B of the Code of Ordinances to Data Corp in the amount of $30,000 on behalf of Healthy Communities Office.
Refer to the Committee on Finance.
Item 18, Council President Matos.
Madam President.
Leader
Madam
Ryan.
President, motion to ask the clerk to read items 18 through 20 into the record and then pass on a roll call vote.
Second.
Motion has been made and second to ask the clerk to read the items 18 through 20 into the record, and those items are going to be passed on a roll call vote. I want to acknowledge, I see Councilwoman LaFortune's hands up and Councilman Iglesias. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Council President. I wanted to add, would it be possible to add me as a co-sponsor to item number 18, 19, yes, 18 and 19. Did you say, I think she said 18 and 19. Thank you.
So we're doing 18, 19, and 20 right now.
Okay. All right. So 18, 19, and 20. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Sure. Thanks. Chairman Iglesias, and then Councilwoman Anthony goes after. Chairman Iglesias. You're muted.
Madam President, I'd like to, if there's no objection, I'd like to be able to co-sponsor 18, 19, and 20, but can I also speak on item number 20 very quickly? Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Great. I just want to make a note that actually, I'm pleased to see that Officer Jose DeChamps looking to receive the municipal medal for deeds of bravery. I've been fortunate enough to know Officer DeChamps for a very long time. Actually, his family and folks come from my neighborhood, known him for decades. He's such a great man and a great officer throughout the years in the city of Providence. And he's always been, I mean, he is one of the officers that everybody looks to as what an officer should be like, officer. And he's been able to shine a light on what's it like to be what are the elements that we expect in a Providence police officer. And it's so wonderful that he'd be getting this award. And of course, his acts of bravery go unsung, not just for this, but every day when he goes out every morning, waking up, deciding to put on the badge, put on the belt, and to go out into the city of Providence and to protect our constituents, ourselves on a daily basis, and to put his life on the line. And by the way, he has his family and his children. He leaves them home. And sometimes they don't know if, something will happen to their dad. And he is a wonderful person, wonderful father. And actually, I like to say a wonderful friend. And it's well deserved that he received this, but also not just this, but every officer decides to wake up every morning and go and do that job and to put on the badge and the belt and to put their life on the line for all of us. We should always have a sense of respect and support for them who do the job right, of course, and do the job the correct way. And Officer Jose DeChamps is one of those officers. So I just want to say that on the record and say that I think it's wonderful for him and his family that he would receive this. Thank you, Madam President.
Madam President.
Thank you, Chairman. Councilman Adichie, I have Councilwoman Anthony waiting, and you're going to go right after her. Okay?
Because I sponsored this, I figured I'd be able to speak first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Originally when I had seen what he had done, nothing like being in the right place at the right time, but knowing that he had enough knowledge to do what he did and did not take any congratulations or anything for doing what he did. He took it as he was doing his job. We're also talking about a decorated officer that has served on the color guard, that has served in the motorcycle traffic unit, that has served on mounted command, that has served for 25 years in the Providence Police Department, and can look in the mirror and shave every day with no regrets. Again, as Councilman Iglesias had stated, everybody wants to, an officer makes a mistake. Everybody wants to be right there on, prosecuting them and do whatever they feel is the right thing to do. But I think, and I know for a fact that we as a body of government, and as a taxpayer of the city of Providence and somebody that's lived there all my life, honor these officers when they do things like he has done and again, saving that young boy, you know, how do they say, God knows when he needs an angel in the right place. And we had an angel that day in the right place. And we have a family that's not grieving, that's actually probably, you know, living a summer with their child. That child will grow up and, you know, knowing that he has a life and knowing that, you know, he can one day have a family of his own and go to school and have a fourth birthday, fifth birthday, sixth birthday, so on and so forth, which he might not have had the opportunity to have. Again, I'm proud to have brought this forward. I think what we need to do is somehow have him come forward and get the medal of on. I know right now it's a little tough, but maybe we can do something in Roger Williams Park for him at the casino or something to that effect. Like I said, I'm just so proud, and you know, it's no hidden mistake that I'm a very strong supporter of the police department anyway. But let's not let the efforts of bravery go unforgotten. And again, like I said, God bless them. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Narducci. Councilwoman Anthony.
Thank you, Council President. I was wondering if I might speak briefly on item number 21 on the resolution opposing the Rhode Island Department of Transportation proposed multi-hub bus system.
We're not on that, Madam President.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I thought we were there. My apologies.
Okay.
It was 21.
We are on 18 through 20 now, so
Okay.
21 is going to be next. So, Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. Before the roll is called, I just want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to co-sponsor this that chooses to. So if we could just ask if anyone hasn't asked to sponsor and would like to, before we call the roll, now would be a great time to do it.
And actually,
That
I
will be
won't roll yet because I haven't read any of the items, so I can read through each item and then I can ask for co-sponsors after I
Perfect.
read it.
sounds
Perfect.
good. That works.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Item 18, Council President Matos, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Correa, Espinal, Goncalves, Narducci, Salvatore, and Taylor, and I've added Councilwoman LaFortune and Councilman Igliozzi, resolution requesting the City Solicitor's Office reconvene the Providence Nuisance Task Force. Are there any additional co-sponsors?
Ryan. Castillo. Okay.
Thank you. Item 19, Council President Matos, Councilman Correa, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Goncalves, Espinal, Councilwoman Miller, Councilman Narducci and Taylor, Councilwoman LaFortune, and Councilman Igliozzi. Resolution requesting the Department of Public Works to increase street sweeping efforts across the city. Are there any additional co-sponsors?
Ryan, co-sponsoring. Castillo, Salvatore.
Kerwin?
I see Kerwin's hand up.
Councilwoman Kerwin, did you raise your hands for the item?
Okay,
Yeah.
so noted. All right. There are no other co-sponsors. Well, I see Councilman Salvatore. Would you like to co-sponsor 19, sir?
So I've
Yeah.
already asked to be a co-sponsor on 19. I just wanted to speak briefly on the item, Madam
Oh,
President.
sorry.
You want to speak on 19, Councilman Salvatore?
Briefly, yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is, as you know, an ongoing issue, not only in certain neighborhoods, but in every corner of the city. These are quality of life issues that taxpayers demand, and rightfully so. I would just ask that we take up the ordinance that was introduced several weeks ago around this issue. When you look at other municipalities in the Northeast, there is a plan and a process to sweep streets in these municipalities. And when you visit these other municipalities, there's visible signage to let neighbors and taxpayers know when their side of the street will be swept, when their garbage will be picked up. And it's an opportunity for those constituents who have overnight parking passes to move their vehicles accordingly. Instead, in Providence, what we have is a haphazard process where we send street sweepers out into our neighborhoods, but nobody ever knows when they're coming. So I would just ask that we do take up the ordinance that was introduced several weeks ago in the ordinance committee. I think it's important that we start to emulate a lot of these processes that have already been implemented in other municipalities across the country, but specifically the Northeast. You know, whenever I'm in Boston, there's again visible signage to let constituents know when these services are going to take place and when they're going to be delivered on time. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you, Madam President.
Councilwoman Anthony, your hand is raised, but it's for the next item, correct?
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Over eager, I guess.
Checking.
Sorry.
Just checking.
Councilman Salvatore, may I lower your hand?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Anthony, okay. So item 20, Council President Matos, Councilman Narducci, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Correa, Espinal, Goncalves, Councilwoman Miller, Councilman Salvatore and Taylor, Councilwoman Ryan, Harris, LaFortune, and Councilman Igliozzi. Resolution awarding Police Officer Jose Deschamps the Municipal Medal for Deeds of Bravery. Are there any additional co-sponsors? Kerwin? Councilor Kerwin.
Councilwoman Kerwin. Councilwoman Castillo.
All right, if there are no other co-sponsors, I will take a roll call vote. Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Correa.
I was an aye.
Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Narducci.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 15 ayes and none absent. The several matters pass on a roll call vote. Item 21, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Calls, Councilwoman Kerwin, LaFortune, and Miller. Resolution opposing the Rhode Island Department of Transportation proposed multi-hub bus system.
I have Councilwoman LaFortune, Councilman Igliozzi, and I know Councilwoman Anthony was waiting to speak on that. So I'm gonna go with Councilwoman Anthony first because she was waiting, and then Deputy Majority Leader, sorry, gotta open my screen more. Deputy Majority Leader Harris, okay? Councilwoman Anthony.
Thank you so much, Council President. I'm sorry I tried to interject earlier. I just wanted to speak briefly on this. I think as everyone knows, because the council received the presentation, RIDOT has proposed a plan for the decentralizing of the bus system, moving the buses from Kennedy Plaza to various locations through the city. And while I do think it's necessary to develop a plan for the transit in the downtown Providence, and there are parts of this.
Sorry.
It's all right. There are parts of the plan, I think, that work, specifically up at the train station. The problem is the process was flawed. The plan was put out in its final form. There are many stakeholders who have not been involved in the process. Most importantly, the Rhode Island Transit Riders, who are the very group that represents the users of the bus system. And I just feel very strongly that this is moving along quite quickly, the plan. I don't believe it requires council approval. I know there are a number of stakeholders who have written letters to the governor, including the Rhode Island Transit Riders, Grow Smart. I think the Providence Foundation sent their letter in opposition about an hour ago. There are many, many, many stakeholders that are voicing their concern over the rush in this process and the fact that they have not done a full public process. So I'm really concerned. This is, I think the RFP is planned to go out shortly. And I just think it's time that we basically elevate the voices of the constituents who have not been considered in this process. So I'm going to let Deputy Majority Leader Harris speak, but I've been so happy to work with her. I hope there's a process by which we can open up this for hearing so that those stakeholders can voice their concerns and we can make a more informed decision at our next council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go with Councilwoman LaFortune. Her hand was up first, and then I'm going to go with Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Okay. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Council President. It wasn't a problem. Thank you, Councilwoman Anthony, for one, providing us with a bit of detail of the plan. I too am in opposition, as stated in the resolution of this plan, because yes, it did not include a community process. The Rhode Island Public Transit Authority bus service is the primary mode of public transportation here in our state. And so in order for it to function, we need to make sure that it is accessible and whatever plan that is developed works for the riders. Unfortunately, this plan lacked a public process. It did not engage with the community. It did not get community input. And it also may hinder our riders' mobility and freedom. So I'm not opposed to not creating a plan that may increase ridership or that may make our transit system more effective and efficient. However, we need to include the community as part of the process because access to public transportation should be a human right. For many of our residents, they don't have their own mode of transportation. They don't have their own car. And in this state, there are many people who are relying on public transportation to get from point A to point B. And so in order for us to create a process and also with a framework that that puts equity at the forefront. We're seeing our leaders, our state leaders who are coming out, who are saying that they're going to prioritize equity, they're going to prioritize our most marginalized communities, yet this plan fails to do that. So it's really important for us to create a plan that puts equity at the forefront, that will increase ridership, that will improve our transit system, and improve safety and accessibility. So I do hope that my fellow council colleagues join us in opposing this plan and also encourage your constituents to write our governor and RIDOT so that we can push them to elevate the community's voice and to ensure that going forward, regardless of what plan it is, if it has to do with public service, the community should be a part of that plan. Thank you.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak, but I really am very proud of this resolution, and I'm looking forward to it coming to the IRP committee for us to be able to hear more from my neighbors and our community and our constituents. So I'm very proud of the work that the sponsor have done, and I'm asking to be a co-sponsor, please.
Me too.
So noted.
Councilwoman Castillo, Councilman Salvatore, Councilman Arducci, Councilman Goncalves. Missing anybody? Okay, Councilman Goncalves, I got it. And okay, the item is going to be referred to the committee, to the IRF committee.
Can I speak on this matter, Council?
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Goncalves. I thought you were just wanted to co-sponsor. Councilman Goncalves, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Councilwoman Anthony and LaFortune and Councilwoman Harris. I'm sure many of us are not happy with the status quo of Kennedy Plaza, and we believe that beautifying the area is important for downtown residents, specifically in Ward 1. And there are just many folks that aren't happy with the plans as proposed. You know, in solidarity with the Rhode Island Transit Riders, Grow Smart, the Jewelry District, and the Ripter Riders, this resolution urges that RIDOT change their current bus proposal plans for downtown Providence as they currently stand. And I just want to make note of significant concerns that have been expressed about RIDOT's proposed Dyer Street Innovation District hub in Ward 1. The plan as it stands will disproportionately inconvenience people in all of our wards, specifically low-income communities, seniors, as well as persons with disabilities. And if it's not rectified, it could lead to additional transfers for transit riders, which only just adds stress to their commutes, and also endangers the accessibility of public transit to our riders. So to Councilwoman LaFortune's point, putting equity at the forefront is really important, because everyday riders are, you know, depending on the bus system to go to work, buy groceries, and get where they need to go. And any plans without them is problematic. So I hope that the rest of our council colleagues partner with us on this initiative in submitting a resolution in opposition to the plan as it stands. And I want to thank all the advocates urging the Rhode Island Department of Transportation to reconsider their current plans and determine a better solution for all the stakeholders involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I just want to double check. I see still hands up for Councilwoman LaFortune and for Council Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Just want to make sure that you're all set. Okay, all right. So, Mr. Clark.
Item.
She didn't refer yet.
Yes, I did hear you state that you wanted to refer this, right? Yeah.
I did refer this. Yep.
Item 22, Councilwoman Castillo, Councilman Goncalves, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Espinal, and Councilwoman Miller. Resolution requesting the Providence Retirement Board assess the viability of a voluntary early retirement program.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to pass item 22 on a roll call vote. Sorry.
Is there a second? I think
Deputy Leader Harris is muted.
Pro Temp Correa seconds the item. So since a motion has been made on second to pass item number 22 on a roll call vote, Councilwoman LaFortune, you want to speak on it? You're muted.
Thank you. I just wanted, if the sponsors do not oppose, if I could be added as a co-sponsor for either item number 22 as well as item number 23. I know we didn't get to 23 yet, please. Thank you.
All right. Sure. Then anybody else comment? All right, the motion has been made on second. Mr. Clark. I believe the Majority Leader Harris got disconnected. She must be trying to reconnect again. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe she's already here. Yeah.
Madam President?
Councilman Adichie, yeah?
Madam President?
Thank you.
Question, favor, maybe to ask of the of yourself as my president of the city council and my colleagues. Do you think it would be possible to take number 40 out of the
Out of order?
order, and if we could do that first so I could return back to my family? Is that possible?
We could do that. As soon as we're done with this voting, Leader Ryan, can you please make the motion? Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
We have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk.
Item 22, roll call vote. Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa,
Aye.
Councilman Espinal,
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves,
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris,
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
On item number 22, I recuse myself. I'm abstaining from item number 22. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Councilor Kerwin. Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Narducci.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 14 ayes and 1 abstention. The matter passes on a roll call vote.
Thank you. Leader Ryan, as requested by the Majority Leader Narducci, can you please?
Yes, absolutely, Madam President. If we can, I'd like to make a motion to take item 40 out of order at this time.
Second.
Yes, motion has made and second. All those in favor to take item number 40 out of order?
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye.
Madam President,
Oh, Leader Ryan?
I'm sorry, I'm rushing. I'd like to make a motion to pass item 40 for the first time on a roll call vote. Thank you, Madam President.
Second.
Madam
Motion
President,
has been made. The motion has been made and second to pass item number 40 for the first time on a roll call vote. Councilman Narducci?
yes, thank you, Madam President. I want to thank all my colleagues for helping me out here tonight. Just briefly, because it's meant for the ordinance committee, we spoke on it in committee and everything. What this does is this basically widens the boundaries of where they can put these compassion centers, and so everything doesn't end up in one particular area. I'm asking that my colleagues support this along with myself and the members that have already supported it with me on the city council. Thank you, Madam President.
Welcome. Any further discussion? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa.
Aye.
Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Narducci.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 15 ayes and no nays. The matter passes for the first time on a roll call vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 23.
Aye, Councilman.
Item 23, Councilman Goncalves, Council President Matos, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Correa, Councilwoman Miller, Councilman Narducci, and Salvatore, Councilwoman LaFortune, resolution regarding a security plan for the Michael S. Van Leesten Bridge.
We're going to refer this item to the IRF committee.
Item 24, Councilman Goncalves, Council President Matos.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan?
motion to ask our clerk to read items 24 through 34 into the record and also read item 30 in its entirety and then pass those items on a roll call vote.
Second.
Council President, real quick, I'd like to sponsor, if it's okay, number 23.
Let me just say the motion again. So the motion was for the clerk to read items number 24 to 34 and to read item number 30 into the record. Councilman Taylor.
I would like to co-sponsor number 20.
Read one at a time, Council President, would you mind?
I'm sorry?
Could we read each item and then ask for co-sponsors one at a time?
Yes, I just want to let Councilman Taylor to finish his thought. Councilman Taylor, and then we come back to Councilman Taylor, what is it?
Yes, if it's okay with the sponsor, because we went so quick, I'd like to co-sponsor number 23.
number 23, which is the item that we passed.
No,
Okay.
we're at 24, so we went by it.
For item
No,
number
it-
24,
No, 23, the Michael Van Leesen.
Yes.
23. Okay, 23,
I
and that
want
was
to.
referred to the committee on Earth. Yep. And Deputy Majority Leader Harris also.
Yes.
Councilman Goncalves.
Council President, would you allow me to speak on these matters before they're voted on, just really briefly?
Just let me
Order here.
finish. I'm sorry. Let me just finish item number. Make sure we're done with item number 23. Anyone else needs to co-sponsor item number 23? Councilman Espinal,
Thank you.
Ryan. Okay. All right. So we're done with item number.
Castillo.
Castillo. Okay. So item number 23. Now we continue with item number 24 through 34, which we already make the motion for that. The clerk, I'm going to allow Councilman Goncalves to speak in general, and then you can read the items and ask for co-sponsor. Okay, Councilman Goncalves.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I just wanted to speak on several of these matters, and I stand before you tonight not only as a colleague, but as an educator and a Providence Public School alumnus. As we know, COVID-19 has certainly had challenges for families and children, and these resolutions just make clear this body's commitment to ensure the safety of all families and children that are enrolled in our Providence public school system. Now, I know that with this state takeover, we have very little say in what RIDE decides to do, but I want to express my personal appreciation for the governor's work, Dr. Alexander Scott, and our public health experts, as well as the commissioner and the superintendent for their hard work, and convey my confidence in what they're doing based on data and science. And that being said, these resolutions aren't lofty requests or demands, but rather broad recommendations for them to consider. And ultimately, they're simply recommendations affirming our commitment to RIDE and the governor. That our hope is that every public school here in Providence has at least one school nurse or substitute nurse available during the school day. That the district also provide optional best practices workshops for parents in ways that they see fit to help with remote learning. And so that way we can best support our children and reduce absenteeism. And finally, there's a resolution here for RIDE and the governor to consider looking at disaggregated data to help inform school operation decisions. Again, all of these are simply recommendations for them to consider. You know, ultimately, these resolutions were written to encourage their discretion on how to do this based on their expertise in education and public health. But tonight, I urge my colleagues to vote in support of these resolutions to ensure that our youth have the safest possible in-person and remote learning experience this year amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you, colleagues and Madam Chair, for the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, can you read the items, please? You're muted.
Thank you. Item 24, Councilman Goncalves, Council President Matos, Councilwoman Anthony, Castillo, Councilman Espinal, Igliozzi, Councilwomen Kerwin, Miller, Councilman Salvatore, Correa, and Narducci, Councilwomen Harris and Ryan. Resolution encouraging all residents to vote yes on the November ballot referendum to approve the $140 million bond for school improvement projects. Are there any additional sponsors? There being none. Item 25, resolution requesting the Rhode Island Department of Education ensure that every Providence public school has a school nurse available during the school day. That would be all of the same co-sponsors that I just listed, including Councilwoman Harris and Ryan. Item 26. Councilman Goncalves, Council President Matos, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Correa, Councilwoman Miller, Councilman Narducci and Salvatore, Councilwomen Harris and Ryan. Resolution requesting the Rhode Island Department of Education and the Providence Public School District provide a remote learning best practices workshop for parents. Are there any additional co-sponsors?
Castillo.
Castillo
Espinal.
and Espinal. And Deputy Majority Leader Harris, you want to co-sponsor? Yes, co-sponsor. And yep. And Councilwoman LaFortune, you want to speak or you want to co-sponsor?
Just
Co-sponsor?
Yep.
Okay.
Item 27 would have the same co-sponsors that just co-sponsored 26, unless some of the people that added did not want to be added to this one. Resolution recommending the Rhode Island Department of Education utilize disaggregated data in their school operations decision-making. Any additional co-sponsors? Item
Castillo.
28.
Castillo.
Yes, we're adding, unless there's objection, anyone who sponsored 26 is being added to sponsor 27 as they have the same co-sponsors on the docket. Item 28, Councilman Goncalves, Council President Matos, Councilwoman Anthony, Castillo, Councilman Espinal, Igliozzi, Councilwoman Kerwin, Miller, Councilman Salvatore and Correa, and Councilwoman Ryan. Resolution supporting local colleges and universities, mask policies, and encouraging all students, faculty, and staff to abide by said policies both on and off campus.
Councilwoman LaFortune's hand is up.
Yes, please add me as a co-sponsor, but I wanted to, I added my hand as our clerk was finishing up. I wanted to speak on the previous items that were just presented, if it's possible.
All right. So let me just finish adding co-sponsor to this item and then we can go back.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to co-sponsor the item? It's number 28. No? Okay. With that, let's go back to Councilwoman LaFortune wants to speak on item number 27.
Yeah, 20, and just a combination of items like 26, 27, 25. What I wanted to share is that this pandemic and the process for allowing our students to return back to school, what it is showing us is the need for our cities, our municipalities, our districts to make those decisions. Because our districts know the students that are going to the schools, they're the ones who are engaging with the families. They're the ones who are talking to the teachers. And it's important for the district to be able to work with our Department of Health, who's doing an exceptional job. Dr. Alexander Scott and her team, I don't know how they do it. I think they'll need, after this is all over, I hope like we should all just start a fund just to send them out on vacation. They're just amazing. Yeah. But all of our schools and we need to be able to make decisions for them. I do appreciate the councilman's resolution to request aggregated data by school, but those aggregated data is also important to look at that data by city. Our cities do not look the same. Our schools do not look the same. Our student needs do not look the same. So we cannot put these cookie cutter plans before us and expect those plans to work for everyone. One thing I will say is that we had a wonderful meeting last night with our superintendent and Nick Figueroa, the chief diversity, the community engagement person in the district. And they provided us with a wonderful presentation that gave us an update on the school reopening plan. And they created a plan that hopefully can meet our students' needs. So what I hope that this does, although it's looking at schools individually, but I hope that our state leaders who are making some of these decisions recognize that the decision should not come from the top. It should come from the people who are going into the buildings, from our students, our families, our teachers, our administrators, because those are the individuals that are working in the schools and are sending our children to the schools. And we should not look at the state as a whole when we're making individual decisions based on our students' needs, our students' demographic. So I do thank the councilman for putting in these resolutions, but I do hope that the state look at this critically and allow our city to make decisions for our community. Thank you.
Councilman Goncalves, you want to speak? No?
I would totally
Yes.
agree. I would totally agree with that. Thank you, Council woman LaFortune. I think that was beautifully stated. Thank you.
I just want to remind everybody that we had control of the schools and we let that control be taken away from us. So I think that's just as we all have to remember that. Mr. Clark.
Item 29.
28. Oh, 29.
Councilman Goncalves, Councilwoman Anthony, Castillo, Councilman Espinal, Igliozzi, Councilwoman Kerwin, Miller, and Councilman Salvatore, and Councilwoman Harris and Ryan. Resolution endorsing and urging passage by the U.S. House of Representatives of H.R. 8015, Delivering for America Act. Are there any additional co-sponsors? The hand raised by Councilwoman LaFortune intended to co-sponsor? Okay.
We cannot hear you. You're muted.
Yes, and I guess I'm not sure if there's still time to make one more comment in response to yours, Council President.
Go ahead.
I just want to add, and I do understand where you're coming from, that you know, the district was under the control of the municipality, but I will let you know, for me and other parents, it was never a choice. We were not given a choice for our schools to be taken over. My kids, my parents sent 5 children through the Providence Public Schools. I went through elementary school, middle school, and high school through the Providence Public Schools. My children are students of Providence Public Schools. My son just graduated and he just started Rutgers University's business school online. And he is a graduate of Providence Public Schools. We did not give the state our school. I want that to be very clear. That was taken from us. And there is statistical data that shows that school reform is done at the grassroots level. So I don't want anyone to assume that this was something that we willingly gave up. We didn't have much of a choice. And well, yes, perhaps we all could have prevented it, but I think we all wanted to see effective change. And but there was a lack of communication, and we were all hoping that the community would be more involved. And by the time the community was given a platform to speak up, it was already too late. That is not an appropriate process at all. And so please do not, I think it's inappropriate to say, because we're speaking on behalf of the whole community and people who send their children to the Providence Public Schools, our teachers, the ones who work in our buildings, that we gave up the school. We did not. We did not. Hopefully we could get our school back at some point. Thank you.
I agree that the parents maybe didn't have as much opportunity, but it was our job as elected officials, council members, to bring that up, and we have the opportunity. There was communication. I believe it was August 18 last year. I sent an email to all council members asking about this topic, if you wanted to have any conversation, any meetings, and nobody responded. So we did have opportunity, and we did not take that opportunity. I think we just have to acknowledge our mistake and learn from our mistake and try to do better. Thank you.
If you don't mind, Council President.
Councilwoman, I would rather for you and me to have an offline conversation because we're
I just want
stopping the
to.
meeting for everybody.
I understand. I just do want to acknowledge that there were council members, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilwoman Miller, Councilwoman Kerwin, who bravely stood and testified and I was there. And to watch what happened, to transpire that day was a bit disheartening. They testified. They stood up. They stood up. They did.
I agree.
So I think we need to acknowledge that.
And I agree, but it was late. We had a legal document with a deadline for when we needed to respond, and we didn't respond. Thank you. Mr. Clerk. Are you muted?
Thank you. Item 30, Councilwoman Ryan, Miller, Councilman Narducci, Salvatore, and Taylor, Council President Matos, and Councilwoman Harris. Resolution recognizing and remembering the life of Ronald M. Coya. Whereas Ronald M. Coya passed away peacefully on Wednesday, July 29, 2020 at Miriam Hospital, and whereas Mr. Coya began his career in the Laborers International Union of North America, LIUNA, in 1966 as the Secretary-Treasurer of Local Union 271 and worked his way up to the position of Business Manager / Secretary-Treasurer of the Rhode Island Laborers District Council, where he oversaw the operations of 10 local unions with approximately 10,000 members until his retirement in 2005. And whereas in addition to his work with the Rhode Island Laborers District Council, Mr. Coya also served as the president of the Rhode Island Building Trades Council from 1975 to 1982, and again from 2001 to 2005. And whereas Mr. Coya brought his expertise and commitment to his role as chairman of a number of funds and boards during his career, including the Rhode Island Laborers Health Fund, the Rhode Island Laborers Pension Fund, the Rhode Island Laborers Annuity Fund, and the Rhode Island Laborers Legal Services Fund, among others. And whereas Mr. Coya was honored with many awards during his career, including recognition of his dedication to the pursuit of excellence in worker safety by the United States Department of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Administration for his role in the Rhode Island Chase Partnership with OSHA, as well as the Wanscook Boys Club Hall of Fame Award in 1992, and the Dante Malo Award in 2004 for outstanding service to the community by a labor leader. And whereas Mr. Coya was a graduate of Providence College, a 48-year member of Kirkbrae Country Club, where he served on the club's Board of Governors and as the Vice President, and also an active member of his faith community by serving as a Eucharistic minister at St. Anthony's Church. And whereas Mr. Coya was the beloved husband of Anita J. DiPaolo Coya for 56 years, the son of the late Ralph M. and Josephine Coya, the loving father of Ronald R. Coya, Flora, and Dean A. Coya, the cherished grandfather of Ronald M. Coya II, Gabrielle E. Coya, Sienna A. Coya, and Alexandra A. Coya, and the brother of the late Patricia A. Silverman. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Providence does hereby recognize and remember the life and legacy of Ronald M. Coya. Be it further resolved that the City Council of the City of Providence extends its deepest condolences to the entire Coya family, as well as Ronald's extended family and friends throughout Providence and beyond. Are there any additional co-sponsors?
Council President, I'd like to co-sponsor item number 30, please.
Chairman Iglesias, Councilwoman Kerwin, Councilman Goncalves, Councilman Espinal, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilwoman Castillo, Councilwoman Castillo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Castillo, I have you as co-sponsor also. Anybody else? Different Majority Leader Harris, Councilwoman LaFortune. All right, I think we got everybody.
Item 31, Councilwoman Ryan, resolution requesting the traffic engineer to cause Whitford Avenue to be established as one-way from Smith Street to River Avenue. Any additional co-sponsors? Councilman Goncalves? All right. Item 32, Councilman Salvatore, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Goncalves, and Narducci. Resolution endorsing and urging passage by the General Assembly of House Bill 2020 H-8087, an act relating to education, health, and safety of pupils. Any additional co-sponsors? There being none, item 33, Councilman Salvatore, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Espinal, Goncalves, Councilwoman LaFortune, and Miller. Resolution requesting a list of all city assets. Any additional co-sponsors? There being none, item 34, Councilman Salvatore, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Espinal, Goncalves, Councilwoman LaFortune, Miller, and Councilman Narducci. Resolution regarding the failure of utility companies to adequately repair the city streets. Any additional co-sponsors?
Leader Ryan,
Yes, thank you.
I'd like to co-sponsor also.
Councilman Taylor,
Castillo, we have you noted.
Castillo, okay.
Salvatore.
Madam President,
Councilman Salvatore,
can I just speak briefly on this item, please?
continue.
Thank you. This is an ongoing issue. We repave our roads. First, we ask taxpayers in the city to vote for general obligation bonds to fix our city streets, only to have utility companies rip them up in no more than weeks, several weeks. And it's extremely frustrating for not only us as council members who advocate strongly for those general obligation bonds, but for the people who have to drive their cars, ride their bicycles, run on these streets, and walk on these streets. It's almost like there's coordination between government and the utility companies to make this happen. I can't think of any other reason why a utility company is ripping up our newly repaved roads only weeks after they're fixed. Our colleague, Councilwoman LaFortune, has introduced an ordinance that addresses this issue. Now, this is only a resolution, and it has a couple of recommendations at the end of it, okay? And there's a good recommendation, I think, that asks the PUC to divert any revenue that's generated from a utility rate increase to the municipality for capital improvements. Now, that's only a recommendation. We all know that we can communicate that to PUC, and they're probably not going to follow through, although I think it's a good idea. But our council colleague, Councilwoman LaFortune, has an ordinance in the ordinance committee. I'm asking that we give it due diligence and due process so that we don't have to continue having these conversations here with each other, but also with our constituents. Again, it's a terrible feeling to see one of our newly repaved roads, and it's happening more often than not. Again, it's just completely unacceptable. I think it's a waste of taxpayer money. And quite frankly, the last general obligation bond that we asked voters to approve, I almost advocated against it because I knew that this was going to happen. But I would be shirking my responsibilities as a council person, advocating for a higher quality of life. So I think we really need to wrap our arms around this. We've talked about it a lot. We've talked about creating special committees. We introduced resolutions. I think it's time we start holding the utility companies and the PUC accountable for these actions. So again, I appreciate the co-sponsorship on item number 34, but again, the time for talk is long. It's just past due. I think we need some action now. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
The roll call vote for items 24 to 34. Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo,
Aye.
Councilman Correa,
Aye.
Councilman Espinal,
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves,
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris,
Aye. Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi,
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin, Councilor Kerwin, are you available to vote on this matter? We'll circle back just to make sure. Councilwoman LaFortune,
Aye.
Councilor Miller,
Aye.
Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore,
Aye.
Councilman Taylor,
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin, are you available?
Yeah, sorry, my mute was being weird. Aye.
You have 14 ayes and 1 absent. The several matters pass on a roll call vote. Item 35.
Mr. Clerk, 1 second. Deputy Majority Leader Mary Kay Harris, your hand is up. I just wanted to check. Do you want to speak? No? Okay. All right. Mr. Clerk.
Item 35, Councilman Salvatore, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Espinal, Goncalves, Councilwoman LaFortune, and Miller. Resolution endorsing and urging passage by the U.S. House of Representatives of H.R. 6422, National Infrastructure Bank Act of 2020.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan?
I believe there's a motion to amend this item 35 by Councilman Salvatore. If you would like to explain that amendment, we would greatly appreciate that.
Thank you.
Councilman Salvatore.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Leader Ryan. I move to amend item number 35, and I'll read the entire whereas clause so that it's stated in the record.
Councilman Salvatore, sorry to interrupt. Would you like me to show that also on the screen for you?
If you think that would be helpful.
Sure, can do that.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Very impressive, Mr. Clerk.
Right?
We're getting good at this.
So again, whereas clause number 8 should read, whereas HR 6422 National Infrastructure Bank Act of 2020 has been introduced in the United States House of Representatives, which proposes the creation of a national infrastructure bank, which would be capitalized at $500 billion and invest $3 to $4 trillion with no new federal appropriation. I move to make that amendment.
I second that motion.
Okay, the motion has been made on second to amend this item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to pass item 35 is amended on a roll call vote.
Second.
Motion has been made on second to pass item number 35 as amended on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Matos,
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony,
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo,
Aye.
Councilman Correa,
Aye.
Councilman Espinal,
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves,
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris,
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi,
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin,
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune,
Aye.
Councilor Miller,
Aye.
Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore,
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 14 ayes and 1 absent. The matter passes on a roll call vote as amended. Item 35. Item 36, resolution.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to ask our clerk to read items 36 and 37 into the record and to pass on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
Motion has been made on second to ask the clerk to read item number 36 and 37 into the record, and these items are going to be passed on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk.
Item 36, resolution establishing the Special Committee on Sustainable Pensions. Item 37, Councilman Taylor, Goncalves, Councilwoman Miller, and Councilman Narducci. Resolution requesting an inventory of all city-owned real estate, including current valuations for every parcel. Would you like me to read since it was combined with a previous item, would you like me to read the sponsors, co-sponsors for item 36 and in their entirety?
It's the same sponsors as the item before, right?
It was the same as item 35, yes.
35, yeah. So any additional? No. All right, you can call the roll. Oh, Councilwoman Anthony?
I'm sorry, may I add myself also to 37?
Councilwoman Anthony,
Thank you.
37.
Yep.
And Councilwoman LaFortune, 37 also? Okay. Deputy Majority Leader Harris, says 37 for you? Okay.
I'd like to add myself on 37, Madam President.
Thank you. And I should be already added to 37, but I don't see my name. Can I please be added?
Yes.
Thank you.
The Councilman Goncalves.
Councilman Goncalves?
Councilman Goncalves, you're already a co-sponsor of 37. Would you like to?
Yeah, I thought I was already on. Okay, great.
Pro Tem Correa?
Thank you.
So noted.
Sorry, friends. I needed 2 monitors. I'm trying to go back and forth here.
I would also like to be a
Councilwoman Kerwin also.
Yep.
Councilman Espinal, did you have your hands up?
I just want to add my name to as co-sponsor on 37.
37, okay, yeah.
It should have
And Chairman Igliosi, 37 also, Chairman Igliosi? Okay. All right, then we got everybody. Can you please call the roll?
Madam President?
Oh, Chairman Igliosi?
Yeah, I think just to talk real quickly on item number 36.
Sure,
Very
continue.
So I commend the sponsors for trying to put, I guess it looks like they're trying to put together this committee. But unfortunately, some of the statements of facts are actually really aren't, they don't ring true. Unfortunately, Mayor Tavares, did not achieve the goals of a pension reform. In fact, he put it off. In fact, we're right back to almost $1.3 billion unfunded. Mayor Tavares had an opportunity at that time, but he didn't go far enough. And in fact, that's the reason why we are where we are today. We had numerous times over the years to force pension reform in union contracts, and the Tavares administration, this past administration, failed to achieve any pension reform in any contracts. The latest failure was the firefighters contract, in which the city agreed to a precedent-setting 5-year municipal contract based on the heels of horrific advice of this present mayor or his advisors to illegally breach an existing contract with the firefighters, and in which all case law shows that you will not succeed. And we didn't, of course. And in fact, the city and the taxpayers and all of us had to pay for that horrific mistake. We had to pay for it in the sense that we had to pay millions of dollars in damages. They agreed to a 5-year contract. By the way, state statute says municipal contracts with unions can only be 3 years. And the only time it can go to 5 is that if your pension system is in trouble, which ours was. And the purpose was that you are compromising that you will give a union 5-year contract, and in return you receive pension reform. And as you know, the administration did not achieve that at all. So now we're stuck once again with a bad contract, pay raises, damages, and et cetera. The reality is that at every point in time, when you're able to actually negotiate pension reform, the administrations, plural, failed the city. They failed the ability to negotiate that because you have to negotiate pension changes. The city's pension laws or pension system is fundamentally different than the state's. The state's pension is based in state statute. So that's the reason why the legislature, at the time, Treasurer Raimondo, along with the legislature, was able to unilaterally change the pensions of all state workers. Versus in the city of Providence, the pension rights are built in what they call the collective bargaining agreements with the unions. So the only way to achieve pension savings or changes is you have to collectively bargain them up and out. As you remember, you've heard me numerous times, not once, not dozens of times, that the previous fire contract, we should have at least had all new hires, pay more, get less, and take longer to receive. If they just did that simple agreement, which would not have had an impact on anybody who was a sitting fire person, anybody who had a job for 20, 30 years, or anybody who actually was in the system. Right now, you'd have more than half the fire force paying more, getting less, and taking longer to get. That's one of the avenues to acquire pension reform. I look forward to seeing what this committee can do, but the reality is it's about money. The city's pension system now is 23% funded. When I first came on the council, it was approximately over 60% funded. And we were on a place to get it squared away. And then subsequently, another mayor got elected, and I won't get into that one. And that mayor, under his tutelage, the cities went from an unfunded pension liability of $300 million to $900 million. Then post that mayor, it blossomed to $1.3 billion. Post that mayor went to $1 billion. Under this present mayor, it's back up to $1.3 billion, and a pension system that is 23% funded. What we need to do in earnest is to force this administration and future administrations to create a bar that all future collective bargaining agreements will have a pension reform in it. I hope this committee will put forward those elements in which then the council can adopt into law, which will then bind future mayors and councils for pension reform. The system is sustainable in this sense, is that as long as the city continues to pay its monthly obligation, which is about, as you say, about 90 million, you can at least continue to make your payments to your pensioners. Presently, as you all know, and if you've heard testimony, we ended last fiscal year without paying close to $30 million that was owed to the city's pension system. Right now, as we speak, the city has an IOU of close to $30 million for last fiscal quarter. That type of financial impact or hit is just another blow to the pension system. So I hope the committee can maybe put forward those kinds of mechanisms, which actually forces present and future councils and mayors to force pension reform in all future collective bargaining agreements. Because we've had two previous mayors do it the illegal way by illegally breaking the contracts and having the taxpayer pay dearly for their political stunts. Let's hope that this committee and this council and the future council can do it the legal way and to help the people of Providence. So thank you. And I hope, I look forward to hearing what the Special Committee on Sustainable Pensions and their results. Thank you very much.
Councilman Salvatore.
Thank you, Madam President. If we're going to talk about facts, let's be factual. If it was not for the Taveras administration working in conjunction, collaboratively, with the City Council, none of us would be here today discussing this. A receiver would. This body would be ceremonial only. And if you think a school takeover is bad, a receiver could have made things a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
Had we not done what we did in 2012, and maybe it didn't go far enough, but I can tell you with confidence that we would not be here today discussing it. A receiver would be making the decisions for us. As far as past administrations and their role or their roles in creating this problem, this decades-old problem, let's discuss the facts. There was an administration who made bad deals with our collective bargaining units, doled out unsustainable benefits. Wasn't fair to the employee. They might have been collecting a higher benefit then, but it wasn't fair to the working person in this city who's relying on a pension today that's severely in trouble. And let's not forget, if we're going to talk about funding the system after those bad deals were made, let's not forget that the bill was never paid. The bill was not paid. And if a payment was made, it was minimal at best. This city did a disservice to its employees. We had to suspend COLAs for our employees, which yes, were overly generous, but promised, because bad deals were made, political deals were made, and then so-called leaders in this city, mayors and city councils, allowed the bills not to be paid. That's why we're having this conversation today. Now, can we look at the benefit structure of current employees? Sure we can. I think we should. That's not going to solve the problem, folks. I promise you. The current employee, today's employee, if you make changes to their benefits, which is something we might want to consider, is not going to solve the problem. What I'm hoping for is that this committee comes up with creative solutions so that future mayors and future councils do not have to make the same decisions that we're ultimately going to have to make. Folks, I can tell you that the clock is ticking. And if we don't address this now, as a body, working with this mayor and the next mayor, whoever that is going to be, a receiver will be in this city and will make decisions for you, council people, who are coming back. And I'm not going to spend the next 2 years and 4 months wondering what the next council is going to look like and what their responsibilities are going to be. We've done it before, and I'm confident that we can do it again. But it's going to take a lot of hard work and collaboration. We need the mayor to step up. Yes, we do. He needs to work with us. But the longer we wait, the faster this city will fold. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
Roll call vote for items 36 and 37. Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa.
Aye.
Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 14 ayes and 1 absent. The several matters pass on a roll call vote. Item 38, Councilman Taylor and Goncalves. Resolution requesting the traffic engineer to cause Mashapog Street to be established as a one-way street from Huntington Avenue to Vineyard Street.
Refer to the Committee on Public Works.
Item 39, reports from committee. Committee on Ordinances, Councilwoman Joanne Ryan, Chairwoman, transmits the following with recommendation the same be severally adopted.
Leader Ryan.
We're a little out of order, Madam President, so we're going to let the clerk finish reading this, and I'll make an appropriate motion.
All right. Yes, because we did 40 already. Yep,
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry. You're right.
An ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to change certain text in Article 18 regarding notice of requirements.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to pass item 39 for the first time on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
Motion has been made and seconded to pass item number 39 for the first time on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk.
Council President Matos?
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony?
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo?
Aye.
Correa? Councilman Correa?
Aye.
Councilman Espinal?
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves?
Aye. May I also be listed as a sponsor?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Councilwoman Harris?
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi?
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin? Councilwoman LaFortune?
Aye.
Councilor Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan?
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore?
Aye.
Councilman Taylor?
Aye.
You have 14 ayes and 1 absent. The matter passes on a roll call vote for the first time. Item 41, an ordinance.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to ask our clerk to read items 41 through 43 and to pass for the first time on a roll call vote.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded for the clerk to read items number 41 through 43, and this item is going to be passed for the first time on a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk.
Item 41, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance, approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to change the official zoning map for Plat 32, Lot 314, 1192 Westminster Street from R-P to C-2. Item 42, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance, approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to change the zoning district on the official zoning map for the property located on Assessor's Plat 68, Lot 852, otherwise known as 40 Candace Street, from R-3 to C-2. Item 43, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled the City of Providence Zoning Ordinance, approved November 24th, 2014, as amended to change the zoning district on the official zoning map for the property located on Assessor's Plat 43, lots 504, 505, and 539, located at 759 Potters Avenue from R-3 to C-1.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Matos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Councilwoman Castillo.
So I don't want to change the zoning for Forest Ave after we can check.
Councilwoman Castillo, we're in the middle of the roll call right now. Are you voting yes or no for this item?
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilman Correa.
Aye.
Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Harris.
Aye.
Councilman Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Councilman Taylor.
Aye.
You have 14 ayes and 1 absent. The several matters pass for the first time on a roll call vote. Continued matter. The following ordinance was in City Council July 16, 2020 and continued and was returned for passage the first time. Item 44, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Providence entitled The City of Providence Zoning Ordinance approved November 24, 2014 as amended to amend Article 16, Section 1602 entitled Illumination Standards and Article 20, Section 2005 entitled Non-Conforming Signs.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan.
motion to continue this matter once again at the request of the petitioner.
Second.
Motion has been made and second to continue item number 44 on a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Yeah, I have it.
From the clerk's desk, item 45, petition from Peter Nadowich, Beta Group Incorporated, 701 George, Lincoln, Rhode Island, 2865, requesting a permanent easement on the northeasterly side of Save the Bay Drive, Lot 364, for the installation of a utility pole.
Refer to the Committee on Public Works.
Item 46, petition from Nicholas J. Hemond, Esquire, Darrow Everett, LLP, 1 Turk's Head Place, Suite 1200, Providence, Rhode Island, 02903, requesting a zone change for the property located on Assessor's Plat 65, Lot 384, 109 Canton Street, from R-3 to C-1.
Refer to the Committee on Ordinance.
Item 47, petition from John O. Mancini, Esquire, Mancini Carter, 56 Pine Street, 3rd floor, The Hanley Building, Providence, Rhode Island, 02903, dated July 24, 2020, on behalf of DNC Acquisitions, LLC, requesting a text change to amend Article 4, Residential Districts, Table 4-1, entitled Residential District Dimensional Standards.
Refer to the Committee on Ordinance.
Item 48, petition from John J. Garrahy Law, LLC, 2088 Broad Street, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02905, dated August 24, 2020, requesting a zone change for the property located on Assessor's Plat 2, Lot 15, 50 Ashburton Street, from N-1 to M-MU-75.
Refer to the Committee on Ordinance.
Item 49, petition from Brett W. Jadell, Chase, Rutenberg, and Friedman, LLP, dated August 27, 2020, requesting a zone change for the property located on Assessor's Plat 23, lots 27-35, 743, and 883, 16-42 Somerset Street, from R-3 to C-2.
Refer to the Committee on Ordinance.
Item 50. Communications and reports. Communication from Gina M. Costa, Internal Auditor, dated August 27, 2020, submitting the general recording fees and the required 10% dedication to document preservation and technology upgrades.
Refer to the Committee on Finance.
Item 51. Communication from Natalie Lopes, Director, First Source Providence, submitting the First Source Report April 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2020, fourth quarter fiscal year 2020.
Received.
Presentation of resolutions and congratulations. Item 52, Council President Matos and members of the City Council, resolution extending congratulations.
Leader Ryan.
Motion to pass item 52 on a voice vote.
Second.
Motion has been made and second to pass item number 52 on a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Yeah, I have it.
Presentation of resolutions in memoriam. Item 53, Council President Matos and members of the City Council, resolution extending sympathy.
Madam President. Thank you. Motion to pass item 53 on a unanimous rising vote.
Second.
Motion has been made and second to pass item number 53 on a unanimous rising vote.
Madam
All
President.
those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Madam President,
Leader Ryan?
seeing there's no further business to come before this honorable body, I would like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Chief Bernard Ted Gannon, who passed away this week. He served honorably as a chief of police from our city from 1958 to 1995. He also served our country honorably in the United States Navy. I'd also like to adjourn in memory of Rosario Joseph Zappella, father-in-law of our fantastic communications director, Billy Kepner, and father of our council friend, Joseph Zappella, who passed away this week. So the council would like to offer its deepest condolences to the family and friends of Chief Bernard Ten Gannon and Rosario Joseph Zappella.
Is there a second? The motion has been made a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.